Well, I guess we're gonna see if this is working. Trying to go live. I don't know how many people gonna show up, but we'll see. 45 seconds and counting. No one has entered the chat. Oh shit. See how this go. What is it, Saturday night? I guess everybody's watching college football. Okay, we got 2 people. Hit the like button. Don't be a troll. Oh, we went down to 1. Let me come over here, man. What's going on, everybody? I gotta see what's going on. I don't do too many of these lives. We're gonna see what's going on here. I'm not really at a high tech. Everybody know that. Okay, why I can't see it? Hmm. Let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm right here. Okay, let's see here. What we got here? Who's this? RP Tactical. What's going on, man? What's going on, homie? We got Bobby Gump. What's up, man? Hit the like button when y'all come in here, man. Help me out. I don't do too many lives, man. Just just help me out, man. Hit the like button. We got a couple topics. I got a couple topics. It's funny when people do YouTube channels. They say over here we do this, we do that, but it'd be one person. But I got a few things I'm gonna go on. I had to go live because I can't be doing all these videos, political videos, like on the channel because some people don't want to hear that stuff when they come to gun channels. So I try to do a little bit of everything, but I had to go live for this one because it's too much, man. It's too much going on. Okay. Oh, 2A in LA. What's going on, fam? All right. Okay. 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 I need a few moderators, man. Let's see. Let me make 2A a moderator because if any of these weirdos come up in here, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. I got you, 2A. Yeah. But one way to let it build up a little bit. So I was trying to get some notes on how to do these lives, and people were saying like, let it build up, let everybody get into the chat room, and then, but I can't build up too much because you know it's college football Saturday night. I'm on the West Coast, but tomorrow's the game though. USC LSU, as y'all see, my daughter at Xavier University. You see what I'm saying? So LSU got the Trojans are down, and I mean it was weird. They advertised the game. I don't know what's going on because I ain't really been watching, but it said USC LSU, but the game is called the Modelo Vegas Classic or something. I'm like, well, so where the game at? Is it in Baton Rouge? I mean, because I if it ain't in Baton Rouge, I'm not really interested because that's my goal. Once we get down to Louisiana to go check out an LSU Tiger game, man. So who we got out here, man? Let's see, 2A Ninja. I think saying we instead of makes this audience feel more engaged. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right, 2A. I know why we say we. Always say we did this and I'm one man brand. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, when we say we got this going on in the channel, it does make people feel like they're a part of it, so that's a good point, 2A. I hear you on that. But I did. YouTube reached out to me, man. They told me something about the videos, the guidelines. I had a video that they didn't monetize, but then they turned around and did it back again. But it's kind of stupid, man. So I don't really know how all that stuff works, man. How they be changing, moving the arrow, and you see these videos and people be doing crazy stuff, and then you come along and try to do a educational video, and then they don't want to monetize it. So it's pretty difficult, man. So how many people we got up in here? Oh, 12. Okay, 12. If it's 12 people, it should be 12 likes. Anyway, oh, who's this? Wagwam from the UK, London. Oh, okay. What's this? Asim Bukad. Hey, man, thanks for tuning in, man. Make it international. Yeah. What's going on in the UK, man? Drop some comments. I heard y'all out there rioting, people stabbing people. What's going on out there? Yeah. UK is going crazy. But we got enough people up here right now. Damn, 9 went down just that quick, huh? Well, this live stuff, you never know how it's gonna go. But the first topic is since everybody's talking about it, what's this? Rod Marley. Okay, Rod, I remember you, man. Yeah, I was hitting the like button as you mentioned the amount of likes. Okay, right on, Rod. I appreciate it, man. Rod, are you related to the legendary Bob Marley family? I know it's just a probably YouTube handle, but you never know though. Grumpy Plumber. Oh, what's up, buddy? Are you a plumber? And are you grumpy? Or is that just a name? Because you could just be a grumpy plumber. But yeah, man. So, man, the first topic, man. Let's get up into it real quick. I'm trying as we go to keep everybody engaged. Oh, Sun said cool flag. Yeah, so kind of got a little bit of announcement. I will be moving to Louisiana. Me and my wife, we thought about it, and here's the thing, man. So I'm gonna get off topic. I mean, but since somebody asked about the flag, man, we've been like basically cultivating and nurturing our kid to be a student athlete since she was 6 years old for the most part, and then it picked up when she got about 12 or 13. She made a commitment to go all the way, and we were thinking like, well, if we did all this work and watch her play all these games when she in rec ball and all that kind of stuff, and then high school and then travel ball. If we did all that traveling around, supporting her doing that, why not go see her play in college? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not go see her play in college? So, and because California is pretty far, man. Because I ain't gonna let y'all know. I just got back from New Orleans. Let y'all know. Just give you an update. I just got back from New Orleans to go move her in, and the flights was ridiculously high, man. It's like $900 for round trip each for us. My daughter had a one way, obviously, but and then when we look at future dates, don't I don't know why it's so expensive, man. But they make you stop in Texas. So coming from San Diego, we had to stop at Dottie Airport in Houston, and then go to Louis Armstrong. On the way back, Louis Armstrong to Austin, and then to San Diego. I mean, you can get direct, but for some reason we couldn't get a direct. I don't know. We went Southwest, but it's expensive, so we decided, screw it, man. Like, let's just move to Louisiana so we can watch our kid play. Now, let me just be 100 with y'all. If my kid wasn't a student athlete and say she went to school with Xavier, whatever, I wouldn't probably move there because she would just be going there for the school year and then she'll come back home. But the mere fact that she's a student athlete and that was the ultimate goal, and she got a full scholarship. So I ain't trying to be sitting up here in San Diego and trying to catch this shit on some random ass streaming network, whatever. I want to be there. And plus, my kid plays better when I'm there. Uh, I coached her for so long. I can give her little tidbits. I won't be up no dugout, being one of those little helicopter parents. Like, come here, tell me. No, I don't do all that stuff. But after the game, if she want my advice, I know her game and who she is. So I think she'll perform better anyway. But anyway, that's ramble on that, man. I just want to let y'all know about that, what that is right there. But yeah, man. Yeah, Louisiana, we gonna move there, man. So it's gonna be cool. Just as far as it's gonna be cool for me in a lot of ways because I used to live in Louisiana. My mom was born in Louisiana. My dad was born in Arkansas, so I know about the South, and it's kind of touches back into my roots, and it's gonna be cool, man. But I want to say this though. I was tossing this around to some people that I grew up in the Bay Area with, and a few cats down here I've known over a few years, and I find it really odd that this not really understand, but it's people that don't realize that most people on the West Coast, a lot of us have connections to the Midwest and to the South. So I think that's one real misconception about the West Coast that everybody from the West Coast, because if you know history in America, you know it's a great migration, the gold rush and all that kind of stuff, open up the territories after the Louisiana Purchase. But I think it's odd that people don't understand the fact that most of us have roots like to the East Coast, Southeast, Florida, Louisiana, Midwest. I mean, it's crazy. So I think when people say like, "Oh, no, this, that, and the other," it's kind of weird because you're really talking about the same people. Really, it's just that some migrated earlier and left, and then but their bloodline is from those areas. So I just want to put that out there. So because when I was in Louisiana, I met a whole bunch of people that was from that got family members in the West Coast. But I gave you a about on our premiere tomorrow. Okay, all right on 2ALA. I see you, man. KB, what's up, man? Ben Givens. Okay, son. All right. So now let's get on the top, man. Is America for sale? Let's get into it, man. So let's talk about the big issue that happened. The apartment complex in Colorado that got taken over by those illegal uh you call them what they was, criminals, man. Illegal criminals. Now I was just thinking like where you guys live, wherever your place is, I don't wherever state, city, you live in an apartment complex, suburban townhouses, gated community, you live out in a you got acreage where it's dirt roads and you nobody can find you. Could you imagine if you saw a truckload of dudes coming in on a Tacoma on a Toyota Tacoma rolling down the road with a technical lined up with a tripod with a 50 cal? Could you imagine? I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not really funny. But this this can happen. This could happen. I mean, because you got to remember these this is a new man. Hold on, let me put my cup down. Man, this is a new era of America where we're at, where our country is literally being sold to the highest bidder. Okay, because they know they the powers that be, the super elite power families with structure who have connections to the structure. We don't know who those people are. That's our biggest problem. It's always been our biggest problem. We don't know who makes push the button because the whole political structure, in my personal opinion, just old plain old eyes and ears tactical, I think it's all corrupt. Okay, I don't think your voting matters. I hate to burst your bubble. I think your local voting matters. When you voting for your school superintendent, mayor, stuff like that. I think that really matters. Police, sheriffs, that absolutely matters. Your chamber of commerce, city council members, hell yeah, that matters. But I think once you get to the national level, you're talking about like senators and governors and House of Representatives and POTUS and all that. Man, come on, bro, man. First of all, the president works for the federal government. Don't even work for the people. Look at this title. He's commander in chief. Man, he controls the nukes. That's it. He don't have no control over he or she has no control over nothing. So they don't have no skin in the game. And I think that's the one thing we got to understand. Capitol Hill really doesn't have any skin in the game because there's no requirements to be a politician. You can be a felon, a crook, whatever. You don't have to be educated or nothing. And then not only that, their kids don't even got to go to war. And I don't think nobody talks about that. They run out here and vote for these people. Whoa, oh yeah, we want him, we want her. Man, I remember I grew up where like at least the Bushes. I think a couple of them were military, I believe, right? I mean, they don't even fight for the country. None of their kids, grandkids, cousins, anything. My family did a lot of military. My family, my son is right now in the military. In the U.S. Army. He was a very, very, very smart kid. He could have went to college and anything he wanted to do, he could have did it. But he wanted, hey, Dad, I want to go in the military. I was like, man, I had his back. I didn't like some of those lame ass parents talk your kid out of the military. Now I did say, hey, why don't you look at the Navy? Because the reason why I like the Navy because there's a lot of civil jobs once you get out the Navy. You know, Marine Corps, not so much. Army a little bit, not so much. But the two crossover jobs are really the Air Force and the Navy because they work with aeronautics and hydraulics and master mechanics. They're working on decks, all kind of big tooling. So there's a lot of jobs that can cross over through the military in those two particular armed forces. Now another one is good and no everybody sleeps on is the Coast Guard. Their jobs cross over too into civilian life because you're dealing with the water. So most of the countries have water, so you figure there's always going to be that Coast Guard work there available. But Let me see what's going on. Warrior for Christ. Oh, what's up, bro? Yeah, how you doing, man? Hey, you got a dope channel. I noticed that you were into religion too, so you kind of spiritual too. That's kind of good, man. It's good to have faith. Lee 777 Gun Freak Nation sent citizen here. Okay, right on, right. Gun Freak Nation. Yeah, man. Hey, Gun Freak Nation is big. Terry, man, T Electric he be spitting the facts too, man. That guy's a good guy. Who is this? B the Great B. Pretty much all black folks who live in Northwest, Midwest have roots from the South. Oh yeah, all the blacks come from. Yeah, all L.A. This is crazy. Here's another stat people don't even know. The black population in California is 6%. That's why when you watch the news or you watch crime reports, you don't see a lot of black people because we don't make up the largest population of the state. There's 40 million people here. So wrap your head around that. If it's 6% in California, 13% overall in the country, then clearly we are not the biggest criminal group in this country. Now we do got a group of our sector of our a congregation that don't that break the rules. But if just mathematically, I thought we were about math. Uh, there's no way 13% overall out of 340 million people, and then 6% out of California out of 40 million people. So that means that the criminal elements are in a lot of other groups that don't get televised. Now, thank God for KTLA because they don't discriminate. They show all the criminals' faces, no matter what your culture is. I mean, you watch some of these other news channels in major cities; they show the same groups. They go to the same little neighborhoods, particularly the Northeast news stations. They're very discriminatory. They don't show what goes on up in Maine, New Hampshire, then all these little small states where all the gun laws are open, but people are shooting each other. They don't talk about that stuff. So KTLA don't care if you break the law in in Los Angeles. They're gonna put your face on the news. Yeah, I'm not lying. Go check it out for yourself. Okay, what's up? Rob Marty said, if it ain't eyes and ears tactical, it's impractical. Oh, I like that, Rob Marty. Okay, okay. Any good cheap weapons like? Oh man, hey Ben Gibbons, man, I just did a video today, man. Hit my video. I just got a light that I came in for a pistol light. I don't know if you're talking about rifle or pistol. I'm trying to do a giveaway. So, but let me get back on to another topic real quick, man. So we were just talking about the Venezuelan gangs over there in Colorado. Yeah, man. So these cats is coming now. Hold on, let me back up. There's a Chesney group that was spotted in Los Angeles. I don't know if 2A LA is still in here, but they out there running rackets. What's the latest one I saw? They what's their racket? They're stealing like the gift cards, running in off the racks, just taking all the gift cards, and then somehow they activate them and running scams off of them. So when you see these smash and grabs, there's people actually it's kind of I mean this is how I'm gonna relate. I'm OG. I'm 56. So back when I was in high school, I graduated 87. So I grew up in the Bay Area and I went to high school in the 80s. So how you found out parties was we had pagers. I know I'm dating myself. And then you get a code from one of your homies and it'll be a code and you have to look at it upside down, whatever. And they keep sending bits and pieces of it. And that's how you would know where the rave was. Because back in San Francisco, back in the day when I was in the Bay Area, the rave parties was really kicking off. And raves of everything go down there, and then you go to the regular nightclubs like the Palladium in San Francisco, Elbow Room, uh, Covered Wagon, Pier Street Annex, Dawes Club. I'm naming some old clubs, City Nights. A lot of clubs in San Francisco. But the raves is where you actually everything go down, and they were seeing codes. And so the reason why I brought that up because I think that's how I saw a report where they were using TikTok to get people to certain breach points to get into America and being funded by the U.S. government. So these cats are not here accidentally, and I think that they're opening that border up, particularly because of election, and I think that they're going to use that criminal element to insert a new regime of how they police. So they're gonna let this new criminal wave come in here, and so that way they can implement like a much more harsher way to police America. Because what's happening in my because I got friends in certain professions. I got a friend that works for the DA office in San Francisco, and I got a friend that's a public defender. And what the reason why they're freaking out is because blacks are not going to jail in mass numbers anymore. The Latinos are not going to jail in the mass numbers anymore because the gangs are kind of like it's deteriorating to a sense that they're factions, so they don't have that structure they had in the 80s, in the 70s, and up until maybe like the early part of the 90s is where it all dissipated for all kinds of reasons that I don't want to go into. But I believe that because I'm an 80s kid, and so that we went to our generation went to prison in waves, like waves. If you don't know anything about LA gang culture in the Bay Area and Chicago in the 70s and the 80s, Cook County, man, it was New York, the boroughs, brothers was going to jail in waves. So that number is really going down because they gave them so much weight. A lot of them are just now coming home from 80 sentences. So they're looking back, going like, "Well, hey, wait a minute, how am I going to make my money off this CDC system that I've been feeding my kids and my grandkids for the last 20, 30 years, like 40 years? How am I gonna get my get back?" Well, you got to bring in a new criminal element. So they're bringing these cats in, open at the border. They know they crooks and criminals. Bring them in, let them kind of like regurgitate what was left over from the true criminals of America that grew up here and were born here, and let them pick it up and then police it and make money off the system all over again, but in a new way. So no accident. No, that's no accident. There's no way you can have that many crooks living in one apartment complex and just take over a complex with strong arms and the police ain't responding fast and all that. Man, come on, man. Like, stop. We all know what's going on with that, man. That's a bunch of bullshit. See what we got here. Been checking out the activity with the Emory. Yeah, we've been checking it out, Warrior. I appreciate you, bro. Channel fire as well, whatever. See here, Black. Don't crack, Brody. Yep. New York checking in. What's up, NY? Watch your channel, Philly. Three guns on. Yeah, man. It just, that's like I said, that's just a part of it that they're trying to implement. Now let's get to the other part. Now, if you guys all know, when Sleepy Joe pulled us out of Afghanistan, which is a huge mistake that I just think that we ain't gonna recover from that, because what that did, it took us a long time to get that trust. I'm giving intel that I know from the military aspect, not that I was there, but I got family members that fought in that war, and the energy and the intel and the trust that it took to even get that close. And if you watch the Sean Ryan show, he talks about it on there too. He had Annie Jacobson on there, and I'm not, yeah, Annie Jacobson. Just let y'all know, I ain't front. Like I read her book on she did Operation Paperclip, all that kind of stuff, the Nazi thing, all that. But Sean Ryan had her on his show, and had the son of the dude that was fighting against the Taliban. They assassinated his dad. I can't remember his name, Mahmoud or something like that. Whatever. I'm butchering his name, but anyway, he was on the Sean Ryan show, and he kind of dropped a little light on that. So when we pull out of Afghanistan, it bred a whole new generation of terrorists that hate America, because we left them there when they actually were fighting against Al Qaeda, fighting against Taliban, and then they were like a small little group, but the U.S. wanted that region, so we went over there to protect those innocent people, and whoever negotiated with us, we had their back and we funded them. Well, I mean, this is a repeat. It's a repeater. This is the same thing that happened in the first Afghanistan war against Russia, when we basically we paid the bin Ladens to fight against the Russians. So I mean, if you live long enough, I'm 56, so I remember that back in high school when they were teaching us that part of that first war, because in the Bay Area, we got an influx of Afghanis that came in. I think my freshman year at Encinal High School in Alameda, 1984. We got an influx of Afghanis came in, moving to apartment complex, but they weren't terrorists and they weren't bad people. I went to school with a couple of Afghanistan kids, and they was cool as fuck. I mean, one of them played hoop. He wasn't that good, but you know what I'm saying? He didn't make the team, but he played with us at the courts, you know what I'm saying? But he always came out and he was cool. He had his his thing on, everything. He was hairy as fuck all the time. He had hair already, but man, I mean, yeah. So they already been to a war against Russia, fighting against communism and stuff. Because that region, I think that little Uzbekistan, all that little area right there, Kakistan, that area got like an oil reserve right around there and stuff. So, and then they got the poppy fields too. So America wanted that region, man. And plus they wanted to fight against communism. Man, I'm come from the Cold War, dude. We were anti-communist, and now here we are sitting 2024. We're fucking damn near communists. I mean, think about that for a minute. How fast our country switched from anti-communism to be in bed with all these communist nations, in bed with Putin, in bed with China. I mean, I can't believe I'm only 56 and I've already lived to see this. And I thought this would never happen because when I was growing up, Time Magazine was we were all paranoid. Matter of fact, Ronald Reagan, that motherfucker bought more nukes. Put it this way, the nukes have been nailed. We, at one point, I think, oh man, I don't want to misquote, but at one point, I believe America, just us alone, I think we had about 3,000 nukes, and so we made some peace treaty to cut them down. But one nuke can just destroy the whole freaking earth, man. So it's like, so if you got the wrong person in charge of some really powerful stuff, it can go bad. And when you make a bunch of enemies and you start getting in bed with bad guys that don't have no interest of your country, it's all going to be bad, man. And so that's why I posed the question: is America for sale? Just let me know, man. China buying up all kind of farmland. They own Smithfield, Tyson Foods. They buying up all this stuff. I mean, y'all tell me. You think we for sale? I mean, I'm not for sale, but I'm just saying it looks like it that way. Let me check in over here. Raiders. What Raiders got to do with it? Come on, man. What y'all up to? Yeah, man. So, let me share a story with you guys real quick, man. I was at the gun range the other day, and so I got a new purchase coming, by the way. But I ain't gonna tell y'all what it is right now. But check this out: Glock store. So Glock. Lenny McGill started out here in San Diego. This story is true. I fact checked it. It did happen. It's on the books. Y'all can fact check it too. Moderators, y'all can go ahead and fact check this. This is an exclusive story that I found out from FFL. So Lenny McGill moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Everybody know that. Moved up out of here. He was right here in San Diego. But guess what happened a few years back? Way before he moved. He moved like maybe what 4 years ago, I guess, maybe right around there. But I guess back in about maybe in the early 2000s, supposedly what happened. This is what. Let me back up. So this is what happened. So when firearms get seized or when they destroy firearms, you're supposed to destroy the firearm, the slide, and get rid of the serial number, so to speak. It's supposed to be destroyed. So, like, I can't say the word how YouTube wants you to say it. If you unalive yourself, for example, with your own firearm, that firearm cannot be back in circulation. Okay, there's a lot of instances where a firearm can never be recirculated; it has to be destroyed. And so, and one thing about Glock, I don't know if y'all who owns a Glock, y'all know that the slide in the lower has a serial number on it. Particularly in California, I can't speak on another state because I never bought a firearm in another state. But I know in California Glocks that when you buy it, it's a serial number on the slide, there's a serial number on the lower. So when a gun gets destroyed, they destroy it, and they destroy it, and so that number is taken out of circulation. Well, what happened was it happened at the Glock store on Ruffner Road in San Diego. Uh, make a long story short, a guy got unalived by a Glock store slide that was supposed to be destroyed in another state, and they lost their FFL. They lost partial of the FL license for like about a year and a half, where they couldn't sell any firearms, and they got in big trouble over that. But since they were such a big entity, they gave them back their FFL license, and that's why I was telling you about favoritism and like how the government works. That's a true story, by the way. And that's not, and they're not the first one for it to happen. So it means that they had a rogue employee that was taking all the clearly they had a rogue employee. I mean, Lenny McGill, I know he wouldn't do that. I know the guy. I met him. He's a nice guy, Birdie. He makes so much money. He don't need to do that shit. So clearly they had an employee that was taking the gun, the slides and stuff that was supposed to be destroyed and was making money on the side, but he ended up selling it to a wrong person that actually used it for an M. So that's crazy. But from what I understand, that ain't even uncommon for FFLs in big box stores where like I ain't gonna say some certain names because I don't want to slander somebody because if it hasn't happened, then I don't want to say it happened. But let's just say, hypothetically, a big box store that sells firearms, you have X amount of employees. Yeah, it's a chance that you might have an employee that's doing some shit that's behind their back to make money on the side. Because so, and that's why gun control doesn't work. The criminals are never gonna do it the right way. They're always gonna go circumvent the law to get their firearms and do things. And so, what we do, well, not we, but what they do federally and local politics, what they do is they try to mix. For example, when they have school shootings, almost like I can't speak on all of it, but I believe almost like a huge, like 97% of all the school shootings, if not 100%, they were all by, well, if the student did it, the firearm was legal. If somebody came into the school and shot up the school, I don't know what that percentage is, but most of these people, these kids or whatever are doing these school shootings, those guns are legally bought. However, they want to mix in criminal behavior, gangs and stuff like that, and cartels, and these illegals they let in the country. They want to mix their crimes with that crime, and then say, okay, this is why we got to change it. And that's where the big problem is for me personally, is mixing those two crimes together because they're not the same. Criminal behavior is not the same as a teenage kid going into a high school and shooting up. That's just two way different things right there. Way different things. Let me say, I heard me. Let me say, hand me a 9 iron back there. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got my golf clubs right here. Yeah, this is my little putter. I'm telling you right now, my that's my strength of my game is the putting though. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a good putter. So I saw the video of those immigrants. How the hell? Yeah, man. I mean, how the hell they get an AR-15? How the hell they get all the way from Venezuela? Let's back up. How do you get all the way from Venezuela? Does anybody ever look at a freaking map? That shit ain't nowhere near Colorado. So, and I don't want to hear like, oh man, they walk miles and hundreds of miles. Man, you ain't walking across water. That's in South America. And then you ain't walking through all those jungles and snakes and all kind of poisonous spiders and jaguars. And man, come on, man, stop, dude. They getting flown in, bro. They getting flown into certain spots. These little illegal crime syndicates are paying to bring in their baddest dudes to come up in here and operate. And that's why I told y'all in one of my videos a long time ago. I said, if you in your little neighborhood and you see about 4 or 5 cats all piled up in a Camry or some shit, get your thing out, because I can promise you they are not carpooling. The same way if you in a tourist area and you see 2 cats on a moped, but one facing the backside way, like the driver this way and the other dude that way. Oh no, they're not carpooling either. They're not sightseeing. He's not taking pictures. He's not a blogger. No, he's gonna rob you. He's not a blogger. And I'm telling you right now, whenever you see that kind of behavior, be careful. Which brings me to my next topic. Man, I don't know if this is from KTLA too. Now, if somebody's saying, why everything KTLA? Well, it was one of the largest cities in America. I think it's the third largest city in America. 7, 8 million people, a large revenue. So there's all kinds of news available in Los Angeles every single second of the day. Now, this one is crazy. This was a crime syndicate that was, I think they linked with like Colombia or some shit. So what they do is they had a sleeper cell inside of an enterprise rental car uh place in Los Angeles, right off Ventura Boulevard. And what they do is they suggest the tourists to go to certain places, and then they jack them and rob them. But they never knew that the enterprise place was actually sending them to places to get robbed. Like, come pick your car up here, woo, woo, woo. And then they would rob them. But then when they try to find out, like, okay, what enterprise, they didn't never get the right ID. But they just caught these cats in a crime wave. It's like 9 of them in a crime wave. And here's the part that, man, shout out to the Alert Zone, James Walker, man. Hey, y'all if you want to see a dope channel, go to the Alert Zone TV. James Walker, my homie, live in Iowa, from New Orleans. He be dropping gems, man, and he was right. So this little crime wave, it doesn't look like the face that y'all used to. Man, the dude that the main motherfucker, you look like a dude that, man, like my homeboy Felipe at the taco truck down here. This old ass Mexican dude look like he probably sitting back smoking Cubans all day, drinking Patron or whatever. Man, he didn't look. Man, you would just walk right past this dude, and his right hand person was an old lady, and then another young middle aged lady, and another. I mean, they didn't. You would never even think that they running a multi-million-dollar scam through a enterprise rental car in Los Angeles, and they're from Colombia. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Anybody listen to me, man. American criminals, I mean, we weren't really that organized in that sense, in that crime syndicate sense. It was just about getting money wherever where you can. But this new wave, these cats, they coming from countries where they've been taught the game on how to run crime syndicates, and the first thing you need is people that ain't afraid to die or go to jail. Because I'm pretty sure a Venezuelan prison compared to prison in America, this is like a Holiday Inn and them. I used to watch that TV show. What was it on A&E when they show all the worst prisons in America? Nah, no, we don't got the worst. No, we ain't got the worst. We ain't got the worst at all. No. What gun should I take when I go fishing back to the Eastern Sierras? Man, you better get you a 10 mil. Who's this? Out all day? Man, you need to get you a 10 mil, get you a Glock 20 specifically, because the 29 is the 20. I can't show no guns because it's live, but you need to get a Glock 20, 10 mil. If you hunt, fish, or backpack in the backwoods, there is no earthly reason why you should not have a 10 millimeter caliber or a 45. It's going to be close range, but you need a bunch of lead to go down range. And if you get a 10 mil, I suggest get it in a 5-inch barrel size if you're a big avid back camper. If you got a little extra money, get two Glocks. Get a Glock 20 and a Glock 29. So one, you can just have your Glock 20 on a chest rig. If you hike a lot and you always walking, taking pictures, you need to have a chest rig right here so you can just get that thing right there, and then you can have your little 29 as a concealed carry when you inside of your tent, whatever. If you don't want to have that big ass gun like laying next to you, but oh yeah, if you hike, backpack, whatever, I'm answering the question. Yeah, you need to get a 10 mil for real, for real. Yeah. What's up with it? Cooking with love and more? We the best. Yeah, that cheeseburger you made was the best. I saw that thing. I see you sleep. Yeah, sleep so BK fly up in here. Oh yes, sir. Oh, sleep so BK. I saw his video earlier. When he do this, I know it's about to go in. Yep. Yeah, glad. Yeah, man. Yeah, Mike. Get a Glock 20. And you get nice capacity with that. Or get the 29. If not, get both. But definitely Glock 20. Because reason why you get a Glock 20, I'm telling everybody right now. Reason why you need to get Glock 20, get five. You want 5-inch barrel because that's the preferable barrel length for shooting that hard cast. So when you buy your ammo, if you need bear country ammo for 10 mil, I said you can do what you want. I suggest Underwood hard cast. I think that shit coming out at 320 grains, and it's coming out super hot and fast. It's hard cast, but it can't be shot. I ain't gonna say it can't. It's not suggested to be shot out of a less than a 5-inch barrel. So if you want to shoot hard cast where you ain't got to worry if the bear goes down, then you want to go ahead and get the 5-inch barrel 10 mil of any caliber of any gun. It doesn't have to be a Glock. I just prefer the Glock because they know not to jam. And if a big ass bear chasing you, you might want to have something that ain't gonna jam. You don't want to jam a matic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Let me get on to this next topic real quick, man. So we covered that. We covered. Oh yeah. So let me tell you another thing that another crazy thing that's going on around here, another crime syndicate. What I've been checking out happening in L.A. So remember, all all the criminal behavior globally, illicit drugs. Uh, don't want to say it, but child abduction, sex trafficking, human trafficking. Remember, the destination is America. So when there's some fool in Slovenia trying to cook up some kind of Ponzi scheme for to pick the lottery numbers in a scam, like 100, I'll pick your lottery numbers. All these crazy ass parts of the world, their target market is America. And so I think if you don't if you live in America and you're a true American and you can't see the transition of this country in the sense that everybody comes here with the objective to actually do something illegal. uh, is it everybody? No, I want to go on a limb and say everybody who comes here is trying to do something illegal. A nice percentage of people come here for education, job market, medical assistance, like they need to get a good surgery or whatever it may be. Things that we are known for, right? A little bit of justice and then all clearly freedom. That was pretty much the number one reason Why? Now, my culture had to fight for forever to have freedom. Black folks had to fight forever to get freedom, but they let everybody else kind of get it for free. Literally, we work for that shit. But for the most part, that's why everybody came here, was for that freedom to like be yourself, go out and buy some land and build your own house with your hands and buy a gun and protect your family. Cook dinner, Sunday dinner at the table. You know, if you live here in this country and you old enough, you know that sentiment is not there no more. Now you got all these other people up in here, and they don't have that same allegiance, and they don't have that same uh they had the same passion. You know what I'm saying? I love America. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was born in Illinois, mom born in Louisiana, dad born in Arkansas, my kids born in the West Coast. I mean, I've been around a lot of the country. And I worked with my hands for a long many years in the energy companies, traveling all over the place. So I love everybody. Anybody know me, man? I love all people, and I definitely love all Americans. I just don't like people who don't have the best interest for our country, man, and for my kids and for my family. When I drop my kid off at Xavier, I'm counting on some people to have a good heart toward my kid playing ball out there. But can I bank on that? Not really. And that's why I need to be down there, and that's why I need to be down there. Now, am I happy about moving to Louisiana? Yeah, I'm happy. Am I sad? Yeah, because my granddaughter, I want to miss my grandkids. But you know what? That's they in school, they gotta live their life. But I want to see my kid play. And also, like, if some shit pop off, man, that's just too damn far, man. I can't, even if I even just booked the flight, boom, I still gotta wait and get on the flight, man. By the time all that, this shit over with. So I need to be right there. Um, is it gonna be cool having the freedom, even though I got my concealed carry now? Going to New Orleans, I ain't gonna have to worry about all that. Once I get my residency, my license changed over, I'm good. No more small checks, cheaper gas, cheaper everything. You also see the house. I'm gonna show y'all the house that we got. Whoo! I mean, we live good now, but boy, oh boy, we ain't paying the same price though. Yeah, man. Said I love this country, Brooklyn. Yeah, man. Hell yeah, sleeps. Hell yeah, Brooklyn, man. I mean, man, come on, man. Brooklyn's one of the most legendary cities in America. In America, the boroughs, man. Come on, man. The five boroughs, Ellis Island. That's where everybody came in at. You had to be cutthroat to make it through there, man. If you're an OG in New York and you still chugging along and getting your thing and you ain't on the street, man, you're a winner. That's why they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And I truly believe that. Now that could be said for a lot of big cities, but nah, man, New York, they coined that phrase. Like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And I feel that way about a lot of the big cities. We get a lot of hate, California, 40 million people, largest economy in the world, practically. Yeah, of course. We got 27 Fortune 500 companies in California alone. I mean, think about that, man. Like, so yeah, everybody out here trying to get a hustle, get a dime, get over. There's people who live annually off $1 million illegally in California. Like, illegally, they have rackets and schemes where they make $1 million annually, paying all kind of fools off because you have more broke people in one concentrated area with great weather. So whenever you got great weather, you're gonna get more broke people because ain't nobody gonna try to make it. I'll tell you right now, in Chicago, where I was born, if your ass could be homeless out there in Chicago winters, oh yeah, yeah, you a soldier, you a soldierette. Yeah, man, trust me, that should be dropping to -40, -30, -20. You would think -10 was warm in the wintertime in Chicago. So no, 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 they all heading to Florida, California. They go to Texas a little bit, but Texas, I don't know how Texas roll with the homeless stuff, but because they don't have all the legal drugs, so they gonna go where all the legal drugs is at. And that's gonna be San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, some parts of Florida. Florida, they southeast, they fuck that region up with opioids, man. Big Pharma. Oh, let's get into Big Pharma real quick. Let's get into Big Pharma. Uh, Big Pharma has basically hijacked America, and I'm gonna tell you how. Because we are the leaders of medicine, what we started doing was getting more away from patient care into basically just a masking agent or uh, a symptom blocker. Because everybody saw how much money the Bear Corporation, Bear, if y'all old enough, Bear, they used to make aspirin. I think they still do. I don't take pills, but I barely take an Advil. I do when my back and my knees. I don't know if y'all probably hear me something. My knees are cracked 'cause I play hoop a lot, and so a lot of my bones ache and crack. And my wife was like, "Take 2 Advils," and man, the shit worked, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't like doing it. But the Bear Corporation basically fucked this country up because they got everybody hooked on pills, and then Big Pharma came in, and then you got OxyContin, lower tabs, Xanax. Man, my daughter was telling me like in her high school, my daughter in college, and she was telling me in her high school, she knew hella kids that was hooked on Xanax. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on around here, man? I grew up in the '80s, man. We was listening, man. Come on, man. We listening to Run DMC, drinking a 40, smoking a joint, and then that shit went to a fucking 10 milligram OxyContin. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm just blown away, like how this country, whew, is crazy, man. These kids are on some high powered shit, and they do multiple things. I heard they do Xanax, promethylene, the syrup, whatever. And then they'll hit some weed, and they'll do some meth. I mean, just all this shit running through their bodies, and then they'll sit there and drink a Red Bull. What the hell has that got to do with anything? I'm like, you ain't even doing nothing, and you need a Red Bull. Like, do something first, then drink a Red Bull. I mean, it's crazy, man. I'm just glad that my kid made the right, my kids made the right move. My last kid and all the rest of them doing good. I'm just glad. So if y'all got any kids, if you watching this, and I know I got a younger target audience, if y'all watching this, man, watch your kids because they coming for your kids. All these criminal elements are coming for your kids. The big pharma want your kid. The pimps want your kid. Uh, the, Everybody wants your children. The pedophiles, all these weirdos, everybody wants your children. So if you got children, you watching this, man, let me tell you right now, don't let your kids stay in nobody's house you don't know very well, and really watch out for that. Not saying side eye somebody that you love, like, I ain't saying do that, but man, it's best not to let nobody be around your kids when they're young until they can actually develop all types of skills to let you know that something ain't right. Because if you just push them off and pawn them off people, you could be setting a bad precedent. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on that, man. Like, man, let me see what's going on here. M3K Tactical 100. Okay, right on, right on. We still got 27 people. Is that 27 likes? I can't tell. Oh, that's 27 people in the chat. Yeah, okay. Big facts. Yeah, because I mean, because you really think about it, like there there's more money to be made off actually humans than any synthetic product. Because I mean, I'm from the '80s, so like, Coke was. I mean, you can buy like, man, I don't know, a bird. You can get a bird back in Oakland back in the day. In the '80s, you can get a kilo if you had the right plug. You can get one for like 13. So it was easy to get in the game. Like, you can make bank. I mean, I grew up. Man, I told y'all this story on one of my videos. One of my good buddies, I ain't gonna say his name because he's still kicking it, and he don't do this shit no more. Well, I don't know. That motherfucker's a hustler. He might still have a little dabble, but he OG. But at his peak in his prime, I think in his peak, I'm older than him because I was a junior and he was a sophomore, and I think his freshman year he lived. I live in an expensive little town, Alameda, California. You can pull up on the map. It ain't cheap, bro. It's right next to Oakland, San Francisco. This motherfucker was living right by the beach. Had a 1 bedroom apartment with a deck, everything, and he was a freshman in high school. And that thing was, at the time, I think was going for $750 a month, and that's back in 1985. And he had 2 cars. He had the Nissan 280ZX with the sunroof tops, you pop the sunroof tops off because we used to roll it. He let me ride it around. Like, he said, "Oh, you can borrow the car, man. Just bring it back." I was like, "Man, right on, man." I almost said his name, but and so he was balling, man. He had always had bank. I used to get weed from him, so he's like, man, he had bank, man. He had stacks all the time, man. So I had, and he wasn't the only one. I had another friend that was balling. He was living in Oakland, going to our high school, but had a 3 bedroom apartment by the lake in Oakland, by the Lake Merritt Bakery. If you know Oakland, California, Lake Merritt Bakery. If you come out the front door to Lake Merritt Bakery, it was that tower right there. And he had a 3 bedroom apartment up there. And so I grew up with a lot of cats, and I had another friend that was a pimp. He was in high school, and he had girls on the track in East Oakland, and he was only in his sophomore year in high school. So it was wild in the '80s, man. You had youngsters that was making dollars. I mean, you can't fathom it now because it's so regulated, and the OGs kind of it's just different. But in the '80s, man, we had cats that was making like G. And my brother used to slang, rest in peace. I can speak on him, but it's not that way no more. Now you got this fentanyl, all this crazy stuff. You got snitches. yeah, confidential informants. And usually nowadays, what I notice is when somebody interjects, like if you would, let's say you would, let's just go do a hypothetical. This is how paranoid I am. If let's say like you in a Chili's restaurant or Buffalo Wild Wings, everybody, okay, you in a Buffalo Wild Wings or Whataburger, whatever, and then you in there, and all of a sudden someone say, "Oh man, oh those, oh I like those Jordans you got on. Those are cool, man. Where do you get those from?" Like something like that. So that's just an example. That that to me would give me red flags because I don't like people compliment me in public, particularly because I don't wear fancy stuff. So if someone said like, "Oh man, where's Xavier at?" I wouldn't be so much offended by that, but I would be like, "Okay, cool, it's over." Woo, woo, woo." But if they kept going, like saying, "Oh, that's a tight shirt, man. Where'd you get that watch from?" Like, so now I'm like I'm like, nah, dude, like I'm up out of here because now you're doing too much and you're trying to investigate. You sound like the police, and that's how I grew up in the Bay Area. I don't know how y'all area was in high school, but in our area, if you ask one or maybe one and a half too many questions, everybody was about to like break out if they didn't know you. So we didn't trust anybody because we saw the snitching coming right around 86, 87, because there's a dude that we knew that was involved with something that was a horrendous crime. I'm not gonna get into it, but we found it very odd that all of us knew he did it and he got arrested. We saw him get arrested that night and then he was gone, went away into the army all of a sudden out of the blue, and then came back like 3 years later. Like, it was like, it was crazy. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. Did he make a deal? And then it turned out that another cat got arrested that we knew that was involved with that. And we figured we put two and two together. He snitched them out and they gave him a plea bargain, say either you go to jail or you go to the military. And they used to do that shit back in the 80s to cats. That's how a lot of cats got into the military because they would snitch out their homies on big drug indictments. And like, so if you you'll know more. But if you hurry up and speed your life up and to make dumb decisions, you won't be able to gain that knowledge on how to navigate through the waters of America because our country is not like any other country in the world. Don't let nobody ever fool you on that nonsense. We are the most unique country in the world. And with that being said, there's a lot of social skills you got to have, and you have to understand that you have to use your mind. You Nobody has enough money where they don't have to think. Okay. And so that's where most people fail at because they feel like if I got enough stuff, I'll be able to circumvent. Nope. They got a whole TV show called Dateline where those people thought they can circumvent the law because anybody can be snitched out. Somebody can get tired of your stuff. Someone get tired of your bullying, and then they can just say, you know what, whatever happens, I'm going to let everybody know what you really are about. So that's my little speech on that integrity part of like why our country is in my personal opinion is kind of deteriorating at the seams with the core values that we used to have. Not saying we were perfect. Hell no, we weren't perfect, but this shit is really out of control now, and that's why you need to arm up and be ready. Let me see what I got up over here. Yeah, yeah, you were absolutely right. Things have changed. Yeah, man. Man, hey, but I want to let y'all know something. Like when I was in New Orleans, what I picked up on, it's pretty cool if you get a chance to go down there. Matter of fact, I would suggest if you haven't been out to the French Quarter, and if you've been there before, like you probably know. If say you ain't been there in 10 years, okay, then you good, you saw it. But if you've never been to the French Quarter, and I ain't talking about just Mardi Gras. I mean, I, I don't do big events, so and if I did was gonna do Mardi Gras, it would be in the daytime early and be up out of there by 1 o'clock. But if you want to really tap into the culture, go down in the daytime, kind of mosey around, do your thing, whatever you're gonna do. I did notice this. So they got the constitutional carry for firearms, so you don't need no permit. They're opening up the marijuana laws because the San Francisco Bay Area, there's three corporations down there that are pushing for medicinal recreational marijuana. I did hear about that. They got signs. They got CBD everywhere, all over the fucking place. Uh, the police is pretty much now the Rampart division has been kind of toned down, kind of like why you say put back in their place. But I think they're gonna ramp it back up because this year they got the Mardi Gras and they got the Super Bowl, and they've had that before. So New Orleans and Superdome, they've held the Super Bowl there before many and many a times. I think they've held it more than anywhere. I think the two most Super Bowl sites in history is Miami Orange Bowl, I believe, and Joe Robbie combination Orange Bowl, and then I think it's Superdome. I think yeah, Super Bowl Superdome, Mercedes Benz, whatever they call it. They call it something else now. Is it the Smoothie Dome? Oh, no, that's where the Pelicans play. They renamed it as something else, but whatever. But yeah, there's been a bunch of Super Bowls there. So they used to handling that, but they got both of them this year. So they kind of when I was down there, they were kind of like kind of pressing some of the rules, like don't park here, don't do that. Because I parked on some area, and one of the cops he said like, "Oh man, well, can you couldn't find nowhere else?" I said, "Damn, well that's kind of." It was kind of a lenient question. I'm thinking if he's a real cop, he'd have just been like, "You can't park there." I'm like, no, I couldn't." And he said, "Okay, that's fine, but just let you know, that's not really a good parking." I'm thinking like, "Well, damn, should I move?" So I guess the parking was a problem in the French quarters and the French Quarter, and so now they trying to enforce a few rules. So if you go down there for the Super Bowl or for Mardi Gras, I suggest that you really be on P's and Q's. And the whole French Quarter is a non-firearm zone. Just to let you know, every store, every business on that whole area is going to say no firearms. And I believe that if you happen to think that I'm going to carry anyway, I'm going to do what I want. I think if you get in a little entanglement or if something pops off, like, and then all of a sudden they have to search you or something like that, and they find a firearm, you can probably catch a felony. So just keep that in mind. Super Bowl is going to be big down there, and Mardi Gras is always big, and so I did notice that. It's also old. It's getting a little old. There's a lot of investors down there. There's a lot of the French Quarter. The second floor levels are up for sale, and some are all under renovation. So they're trying to get ready for the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. I did notice that there was a lot of construction going on. Still a great town with a lot of history, but if you traveling though, this is the key part with traveling. Everybody want to floss, but man, if you traveling particularly to California, Los Angeles, San Francisco Bay Areas, maybe not San Diego so much. We're kind of laid back. We got problems, but we got more fentanyl problems, drug addict problems, and more stuff to deal with, like homeless stuff and all that kind of open air market drug areas. We don't really have people don't really floss as big in San Diego. What I'm saying is more t-shirts, flip flops, and all that kind of stuff, and wire back, just baseball caps. But when you get to LA, yes, this is where you get all the pretendos, and everybody want to be that and want to be showing that. And that's why I keep saying if you do go up there a little regular and not so much stuff hanging and swinging and shining and blinging because you're gonna get tested, man. It happens all the time, man. All the time. Oh yeah, fat guy with guns. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, man. Zach, what's up with it, Zach? Yeah, you don't want to really you don't really want to do that. And I can tell you another thing. I forgot about this crime syndicate that's going on. So these if you do the Tesla, particularly, I'm just going to speak on Tesla because I work for Apple, so I'm hearing this from people who what I know. So if you do the charging station stuff, man, those are licks in L.A. County and in San Diego County and in there was a damn, what area was that at? Sherman Oaks, I believe. Sherman Oaks or Thousand Oaks, one of them damn Oaks. No, Sherman Oaks. They got hit hard recently. So what these cats is doing, they they're basically going by the charging station, and mainly the supercharger ones because I don't know if y'all know this. So this Tesla has some stations. I don't know about everywhere. They got supercharger stations and they got just regular charging stations. Well, this criminal syndicate is being so savvy that they actually just chill out in Teslas. So in Sherman Oaks, there was a Tesla. They showed the video, showed the Tesla pulls up, jump out, and then look, they got man, that shit look like a motherfucking Uzi or MP5. Jump out, boom, and you see the person. They grab the person out, whoa, 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 snatch all kind of stuff out the car, jump back into the other car, boom, and speed off, whoop, go. So they didn't want the car so that tells me that they know that that car has a tracker on it and all this kind of stuff, but they didn't show their face. They had a hoodie on, all this kind of stuff. So they're snatching and grabbing things that they know they can resell in the open market. Because think about it. Has anybody even thought about this? If you have that white earbud hanging down off your ear, right? Then you got this eye watch right here, right? And you're in it, and then they can't see that right now. But if you're in a Tesla What are the chances of a person who owns a Tesla having an iPhone, the newest model too, newest model, the newest earbuds? What else would they probably have? A newest iWatch. They would probably have a couple of multiple credit cards. They probably won't have cash, but you probably can do a lot of damage with their credit cards if you kidnap them. You see what I'm saying? And that's what they do. They'll run all your shit, strip all your credit card stuff information, extort you right there on the spot, and transfer it all into another account, and then they just leave you or they take you out. But my point is, man, I ain't making this shit up, man. You can look this shit up. That's what they're doing. Those little charging stations, because they know they're long, they don't charge fast, and that's why people who have these e-cars, they don't want to charge at the stations, and that's why I believe that those cars are not going to really make it like market, like the large market target. They won't get there because it's just too many elements that don't make sense, and too many reasons why it's so long. For example, if you have a 15-gallon tank, gasoline operated vehicle, you can fill that tank up in what, 48 seconds. Okay, 48 seconds you can fill a 15-gallon tank at a gas pump. If you wanted to recharge your Tesla, if it was drained to zero to get it back to 100%, man, you're looking at least 45 minutes to an hour. So who wants to sit there or leave their car parked at a mall and go inside and all that kind of stuff? So don't do that, man. When you fly into LA, just get a gas operated vehicle and call it a day, man. Just pay the $5 a gallon. Is they gonna probably sting you for $5.50 at the rental place. But man, no, I'm good on that. I'm good. Damn straight, arm up. Yep. What's going on here? Fat guy gonna say, true facts. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you why. I'll tell you right now. Another thing, man. If you got daughters, or even you got sons, like you got to be really vigilant on watching your children. And I think what really happens, because I coach a lot, so I kind of see it. I'm done now, dang man. I'm really done now. But one thing I notice is that as your kid get older, some parents equate they got taller with they got mature, and I think that's a really big problem, like with parenting. Like just because your kid is tall and big, don't mean your kid is mature. So when you say just go down to the corner store and get this, do you know if a car rolled up and a van opened a door, whoop, and three goons jumped out, whoop, I could get snatched if I'm caught off guard. Now I'm gonna have something on me, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah. But I'm just my point is that nobody's immune to being uh, humanly trafficked or kidnapped. I mean, I hate to say it, man. I mean, that's why you don't want to be out solo by yourself at night, particularly, and you want to know where you're going in the daytime, and you want to be checking your rear view mirrors and stuff when you're driving. You just don't want to be just lunching, just driving down the street like this, and you're at a stoplight like this, and you ain't even looking left, you ain't looking right at the stoplight, red light, you still like this. I mean, come on, man. You got to be sharper than that, man. Like to me, that's just negligent, man. And that's a lot of what goes on. So I think once the criminals know that you're alert, they kind of back off a little bit. I mean, if they really want you, well, then that was an assassination, or you was a target, like someone snitched you out and said like, "Oh, go get eyes and ears tactical. He keep big money on him." Like, nah, if they see you and you look at them, you look at them, I'm looking at you, looking at me, and we looking at me, I'm looking at you, and then you still coming at me. Oh no, I was targeted. That ain't no random. No. Someone put a hit out on me. But if I look at you and you look at me, and then I look this way and I look back at you, and if you didn't go that way, well, then I know you were opportunistic. You were trying to get a drop on me, but then I saw you. Now you worried if I took your picture and if I can describe, now they nervous. But if they look at you, you look at them, and you look this way, and you look back, and they still looking at you. Oh no, you better have that thing on you ready to go because you're being targeted. And that's another reason why y'all don't see me really wearing jewelry and stuff, because I don't want to be like that. And plus, I like people thinking I'm broke. Just be honest with you, I don't want to look bummy. Don't get me wrong. I shower and clean myself up every day. I know I'm not gonna be trashy, but I stay with pretty much t-shirts, basketball shorts, stuff like that. And that's why when I go out, my wife said I looks really handsome because I put a button down shirt on and slacks and hard shoes, and I don't overdo it on a daily. So when I do it, I look very nice, dressed up. My mom used to say it too. Rest in peace, my mom. But for the most part, I like people thinking that I'm a non-threat. don't got no money. I'm just kind of an average schmo. Just an average air breather. You know what I'm saying? I like that, man. That's what keeps me safe. I mean, the minute you try to flex, I think in today's society, see, in the 80s, you could have flexed. And somebody be like, oh, he got the new Patrick Ewing Adidas. Oh, or he got the new Iversons, in the 90s or the new Kobe's, you will be saluted. Like, whoa, right on, homie. But now this is a bunch of hate. And then you got people that are broke that are doing these crimes. So they like, oh, I gotta have that. You know what I'm saying? So because they're all dope fiends. And that's where big pharma kicks in at. If you get hooked on like heroin or all that stuff is basically a opioid. So if they get you hooked on any of that stuff, uh now you got to live on it. You got to get it. I be man, my homie worked for the public defense office. He said them cats when they get arrested, they go to jail. They be in there shaking and quivering and throwing up and everything because they've been on like Xanax and OxyContin and lower tabs and I mean it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, man. But anyway, man, hey, this is getting a little long. I mean, I could keep going, but I'm gonna get back and catch some of these football scores, see what's going on. I think we got a late game going tonight, and we'll see how it's going, man. But otherwise, man, everybody stay safe, stay blessed, man, and definitely, if you ain't armed, man, you better get armed now and have multiple guns, and definitely have a couple shotguns because when they come through the door, they come in deep, and so hey, just be ready, man. I appreciate everybody's joining the live. Let me know what y'all think I need to do. Work on some few things, shorten up the live, whatever. But otherwise, man, I'll talk to y'all the next one. Peace.